All right, everyone. As George said, I am Lief Erickson, and I am here to talk about how I extended the Doctales reveal.js plugin from the Doctales team, who are here, and how I added CSS Grid support and some other reveal.js features that aren't a part of the base Doctales plugin. So, as I said, it is based on the Doctales plugin that is available out from the plugin repositories. You can find them. But the CSS theme that I used was, rather than build my own, it was to use an existing CSS Grid theme that was based off of the reveal.js framework, and I used the MyPlanet framework for that. So how did I go about doing this? I took the Doctales plugin and I just extended it right there. And that itself extends the HTML5.
That was a short presentation, Lief. See how easy it is to extend it? Okay.
Roger, have you seen my slides? So, as I was saying, get the volume back on. So I created my own plugin, and as I said, I created the slides, which extends the reveal. And there's not much more to do. Added in the CSS and added in the CSS that the reveal has to be initialized. It's a JavaScript framework. Add in the grid, saying that you want to use some grid functionality, and aha. I got into the wrong. There. As Roger was saying, the work is done. It's as simple as that, right? You extend a couple of things, very small plugin, add some functionality, very few lines of code, and you have something working. But really, what I wanted was something more. It wasn't just the grid functionality. There's a lot of reveal functionality that isn't available in the Doctales plugin. And that's no fault of the Doctales team. They created the plugin many, many years ago, and the reveal framework has continued to evolve. And there are additional features that just aren't available. And so I said, I want those in my plugin. How do I do that? So one of the things that I wanted to do was cheat. We are, in our presentation formats, are often limited to the size of the screen. But a web browser doesn't just go left or right, it goes top to bottom. And where's the bottom? The bottom can be a long way away. So depending on what you throw on the screen, you might be able to scroll. But you've got to cheat and say, well, in order to scroll, I need the overflow. But choose that wisely when doing so. Because one of the other features about the reveal framework is that you can print PDFs from this. And the PDF, of course, is a fixed page size. It doesn't adjust automatically based on how big your one page or several pages in your PDF presentation or your reveal presentation are. It doesn't adapt for that. Maybe there is a way to make that happen. I haven't looked into it, not going to, but that would be something that, this is a known problem, and so use it wisely. So how did I go about getting into the additional features that I wanted? So I went into the RNG files and I added a domain for the data attributes. In the reveal framework, there's a whole bunch of data attributes that get passed along into the HTML. And so I said, I'm going to create a domain for that and stick it into my plugin. And this is what some of that looks like. Just a little bit here from the, this one here is about the line numbers and where you can start the line numbers from. And this is just one of many of the attributes that got added. And this is what the slide looks like, or the mod file for the slide. You can see that there were some more, added the slide blocks and added in some new elements that could be used. These aren't in the base Doctales plugin. They don't have the ability to have a prologue in their slide. I wanted a prologue for reasons that will become clear here in a moment. So look at that. I added the prologue. So backgrounds. We can quibble over my choice of background colors, but backgrounds are an option. And one thing the Reveal framework allows is a number of different backgrounds, not just in color, but also images. Not just images, but also video and GIFs if that's your thing. So how do we go about doing that? In the XSLT, I created a way to identify what the data element was and where it's coming from. And so you can see here that I've got a data element in the topic itself. And I am looking for that, and I'm pulling out the values and passing those along. And I can do something like this. I have a background that is behind all of the text. It's not in the main flow of the text itself. That's all of this information here. Another thing that we can do are background videos. I don't know why you would do this. This is just an example of something you could do if you wanted to. If for some reason you wanted to have a video behind your text or whatever else you wanted to do, you could do that. And this video is looping. You have the ability with the Reveal framework to turn off the looping so it only plays once through. Now, this one is a iframe. It's an iframe background that went out and pulled this Toro website live. And there is the ability to interact with the website directly within your presentation. Again, why you would want to do this? It's for the creative people to figure out, but it's there. So let's see, what else do we have here? So another thing that I wanted was a footer. Down here, you look really, really close, there's a footer. It's in a fixed location currently. Some companies may require that the information say that all rights are reserved, confidential, that sort of thing. So having the ability to pass in a parameter of what that text would be, if anything, was something that we wanted, so we've got a footer option. You can also pull in Twitter. Here's me a couple of years ago before the pandemic, and we've got a number of other people up here who have had words to say about DITA-OT Day, even in languages that I cannot read. So a couple of years ago, people had, we were talking about DITA-OT Day on Twitter, and you can pull in, and this is an example, as you can see, of the grid functionality happening. If we were to change the width of this browser, you would see things move around and still look pretty decent. We can pass through layout. Obviously, DITA is not something that you use the semantics to do things, but sometimes you use the output class to encourage certain output look and feel. And we can do this by passing in certain attributes. And so in my case, the text to create these first 3 bits of information on this screen looks like this in the DITA. So there's a code phrase with that text center is that right there. And I'm passing in this text align center, and that is being read and transformed into the HTML5 that the reveal is expecting. And that is being done with some Sass that is, for those who can read Sass, you can see here that I just took the HTML values and did a simple little variable and spit out the stuff on the other side. So another thing that Reveal can do is highlight code samples. And we have a couple of things. You've seen a number of them already, but we've got line numbers on here as well as highlights. And you can see the highlighting happening as I step through different things. And one of the things that Reveal does, you can see, you can actually specify line numbers very specifically. And each time you step through it, it'll highlight those line numbers. So you can be very precise in what you want to highlight with the Reveal. Lastly, I heard earlier today that we shouldn't be using named templates any longer. That's not the way the cool kids do things, but I'm not a cool kid. So this was the original Reveal. Like, this is the main template that does most of the heavy lifting in the base XSL. And it was a lot to get my head around it, in part because it, to me, was a fairly lengthy template. And I spoke with Stefan, who created this thing, and I said, I don't want to embarrass you, so is it okay if I say, you wouldn't do this way today? And he said, it was my very first DITA-OT plugin. Absolutely not. So I am forever grateful for all of the work that he did here. And the way I went about solving getting my head around things was simplifying that 127-line template into this 27-line template by doing an XSL, well, we can look at that, using a call template. Now, to a named template, I understand we should probably be using modes, but the same concept, I think, applies. So if anybody is interested in this presentation, you can find it at this URL. And as, you can connect with me at these places. And as we are already over time, ain't nobody got time for that, but there are questions. And Yang is going to tell us about how to supercharge the web outputs. Questions, you can track me down in between these sessions. Stefan asked when the pull request will be coming. So as you might have noticed, some of that was very sort of specific to my use case. We can discuss if there's things that are general that the project would enjoy having in general cases. But some of that I would say is quick and dirty code and not something that would be ready for prime time, but we can obviously talk about what could be done there. At the back, Roger.
Which version of Reveal is this based on?
Fantastic question.
Once again, for the microphone, which version of Reveal is this based on?
It is based on the latest, so I think it's like
extension
437.
Hmm?
Yes.
in extension mode.
Ready?
Display.
Normally it's automatically.
Were there any other questions?
Can you look at the display setting?
All right.
I should
Thank you.
probably